I'm Dr. Atmaram Pawar. Hope you are enjoying the previous videos. So till now we covered the additives like syrup, flavored syrup, and one medicated syrup, that is the Vasaka syrup. So today we will see this paracetamol pediatric syrup. First point is the paracetamol. We in India recognize it with the brand name Crocin. Very old drug. It is introduced in 1877 as a antipyretic and analgesic drug. So this paracetamol is available in various dosage forms. In the liquid, it was available as a syrup, elixir. Nowadays also, these syrups are available, suspension is available, drop is available, injection is available, suppository. So wide variety of dosage forms are prepared and it is widely used or maximally used drug, that is paracetamol. It is not only in the industry and the therapeutics, but in the academics also. It is studied many times as an example of formulation, as an example of drug synthesis in a pharmacology, all where you will see this paracetamol. So we are taking this interesting one preparation, that is paracetamol pediatric syrup. If we see the syllabus, it is again repeated in the third year. So there is no any mistake, wrong in the repeating, but depth is different. Here depth is introductory to the paracetamol syrup as a dosage form, and in the third year, it is covered as a formulation design and manufacturing. So depth is more. So here at this first year level, what are the important points we'll discuss? So paracetamol pediatric syrup BPC is the official preparation which 100 ml contains 2.4 gram of paracetamol. Then propylene glycol, glycerin, chloroform spirit, butterscotch flavor, methyl paraben, propyl paraben, syrup IP, which is a vehicle what we studied, and also color, amaranth color. So this is in general formula of this paracetamol syrup. So first thing, so what is the indication of paracetamol and how it acts pharmacologically? What is the indication? Why it is used? As I told, it is an antipyretic and analgesic. How it acts pharmacologically? Correct. So whether it acts centrally, means in the brain centers, or prostaglandins. So there are many mechanisms. So how it acts? In one of the viva, when I asked the same question when I was taking the viva of the first year in initial days. So whether this paracetamol act centrally. So, okay, one of the students said, so the two students were in front of me. So no, it acts peripherally. I just questioned, is it act peripherally? So second student said, no sir, it act laterally. So find out whether it acts laterally, peripherally, or centrally. So, and this answer is not difficult to get at all. Therefore, do exercise and definitely we'll get two mechanisms of actions. So I'm giving clue. There are two mechanism of action to act as a antipyretic and a analgesic. What is the solubility of paracetamol? Why this question is? Because as we are studying the monophasic system or solution type of dosage forms, liquids. So in the case of solution type of liquids, as we discussed in the syrup only, that drug should be soluble. Means here 2.4 gram should be soluble in total formula. So it is 100 ml formula. So whether that paracetamol is soluble or not. So what is the solubility given in a pharmacopoeias or in general for this paracetamol pure drug? It is a 1 gram in 1 gram in 70 ml of water. So we are having 2.4 gram. Means for 2 grams it may be 140. So definitely this amount of solvent, whether it is sufficient or not. So whether in this formula drug is present in the soluble state or insoluble state. If it is present in the soluble state, then one can say it is a syrup or a monophasic system or solution type of dosage form. So we have to check whether this drug is soluble in the given amount or not. So solubility is one parameter, and secondly, the amount given, the quantities given in that of drug and in that solvent is important to know whether the drug is soluble or not. What is the role of propylene glycol and glycerin? So definitely, as we seen, the drug is not soluble, freely soluble. So therefore, what is the use of propylene glycol and glycerin? There are many uses, as we discussed last time. The glycerin also act as a soothing agent. It have the viscosity, likewise. So, what is the role here? In the case of expectorant, the role is different. And what is the role in the paracetamol pediatric elixir? So definitely its role. These two are used as the solvents because drug is not soluble. Hmm? So solubility of a drug in a water and solubility of drug in a syrup. So in which case it will be more soluble? So we discussed in the first practical only. So here, what is the solubility of a drug in the syrup? What may be, and whether it will be improved by propylene glycol and glycerin or not. So if you get the value of solubility in water, in propylene glycol, in glycerin, you can check these quantities also, propylene glycol and glycerin, and these quantities may be sufficient to dissolve the paracetamol. But for that, it requires the value of solubility of paracetamol in different solvents. So this principle of dissolution or solubility is co-solvency. Solubility is a co-solvency. Means here the propylene glycol glycerin dissolve the drug on the principle of co-solvency. So there are different techniques of enhancement of solubility: hydrotrophy, complexation, pH modification, likewise. So actually these all are the part of third year, but in some syllabus the introductory part is also covered for a definition purpose. So here important is the co-solvency. What is the co-solvency? What are the different examples of co-solvent? So that you should know. And here propylene glycol and glycerin, are they co-solvents? So this is the answer we have to find. What is the role of chloroform spirit? Again, is it a co-solvent? Whether the chloroform is a solvent used here. What is the use of chloroform? If we see the different pictures or if we read some news also, so then the chloroform have the anesthetic action, mild anesthetic action. So what is the role of that? How this dangerous solvent is used here? Again, it is used in the form of spirit. So next question. It is not chloroform not used as alone, but that chloroform is a dissolved in a alcohol, and then alcoholic solution of chloroform means chloroform spirit is used. So what is the chloroform? Whether it is act as a solubility enhancement, whether it act as a preservative, or whether it act as a palatability enhancer. So it may be the reason whether this paracetamol, chloroform act as a palatability enhancer, because the paracetamol is the best example of bitter drug. So it requires multiple approaches to improve the palatability. So we have to check the role of chloroform, whether it is stabilizer, palatability enhancer, or a preservative, likewise, and why it is used in the form of spirit. If we use directly a chloroform, what will happen? Why parabens are used in combination? So methyl paraben, propyl paraben, as we studied in the syrup. So these are usually used as the preservatives. These are antimicrobial agents. Why these are used in the combination? Okay, so in the second year microbiology, you will study in depth, but at least you find the reason is synergistic effect. The answer is synergistic effect. So synergistic, why synergistic? Only the synergistic effect, one word is not sufficient. So check the solubility of methyl paraben, check solubility of propyl paraben, check spectrum of methylparaben, that is antimicrobial spectrum, check the spectrum of propylparaben, definitely you will get an answer why these are used in a combination in a particular ratio. So justify that ratio also. So this particular ratio is there, correct. So justify palatability and acceptability of syrup. Just now I told that paracetamol is a bitter drug. So what are the attempts made here in the formula to improve palatability? Correct. So it is a butterscotch flavor is there and syrup is there. Correct. So these two are used. So syrup, if we calculate the quantity of syrup, so it is to make 100 ml. 100 minus propylene glycol 20 and glycerin 30 means about 50 ml syrup is there. 50 ml syrup. So whether that syrup is sufficient to mask the bitter taste of paracetamol or any other ingredient is present, that is butterscotch flavor, or third any system, any mechanism is there, correct. So the reason is, so I am giving clue. So there are three different approaches used to improve palatability or to mask the bitter taste. So I given the clue also. Just you search and find that answer. What are the three approaches here used to improve that palatability of paracetamol pediatric elixir? Name the marketed products. So as I said, this paracetamol syrup is widely used. It is better go in the market. If it is possible, take a photograph of that preparation, or if curtain is there, take that curtain and paste that photograph here as the name of marketed product. So it gives feel that okay, I'm preparing, I'm studying something which is there in the market. So name some marketed products. So this is sufficient for first year PharmD or first year B.Pharm. When we teach the same preparation in the third year, so it is much more formulation design aspect. So don't bother the first year students, correct. The questions which are suitable, which are sufficient for first year will only include that, correct. So in the third year there is solubility calculation, correct. What is the solubility of paracetamol in one solvent, four different co-solvent, then whether that quantities are sufficient or not, then the calculation of strength, what is the 2.4 gram in 100 ml, what are the calculation, what is the dose, correct. Likewise, all this is the part of third year. Then the stability aspect, the pH of preparation, selection of preservatives, how the preservative will be effective, whether the chloroform acts as a preservative or not, whether the methylparaben, propylparaben will act as a preservative or not, or we can change that. So all this part, comparison between drops, paracetamol drops, then the paracetamol elixir, paracetamol suspension, OTC product, prescription product, their label conditions, all this is the part of third year. So we'll should separate the third year and first year, but for first year, these 10 questions are more than sufficient. So have a more detail on this. I am expecting the questions, confusions, suggestions in my comment box. I'm waiting for you. We are doing this all exercise to make you logical thinker and to make you a knowledgeable pharmacist. Thank you. We'll see the paracetamol pediatric elixir, the oldest the formulation even in the BPC, in the next video. Thank you.